So, as most of you will have seen by now, Patch has been sold. He's gone to actually quite a nice home. I'm going to do a little short video of it's quite a story behind the sale of Patch. But I'm really pleased with, to be honest, I'm really pleased with how everything worked out. But that'll be, so it's another video. So I now have some money to finally finish off the Pontiac. I have see that big box there? That is a radiator. If you can see in the video, it's quite clear. There's a big damp patch there, and when I've driven the car, there's a lot of steam coming out of the radiator, all from there. I did have a look at how much it was to have it repaired, and then I found one new that should fit for about £150. I say should fit because this is about 600 millimeters wide and the new one's 800, but there is a bit of space. That's just a plastic sort of direct the air. Oh, there's a random loose wire down there, so that could always go in. There's space that side, so I'm pretty sure we can make that fit. That's coming up later in the video. I've also got a new set of shock absorbers in the boot. When I drove this a few weeks ago, you'll have seen that it drove fine, but the shocks were very tired, rightly so. They've been sat for a while. And finally, I have an upgrade on my carburetor. Let's just remove that and that. You'll see the carburetor is very shiny. That's because I bought a reconditioned one. They do grades A, B and C, good, bad and ugly. This is a grade C. It's supposed to be ugly so that it didn't make the rest of the car, the rest of the shiny bits that aren't quite so shiny stand out, and what I got was a really shiny one. I've also bought this little riser, little spacer, so that when the filter is on, it's not pushing, it's not rubbing on the fuel hose. So that was £9 I think on Amazon, and in stock in the UK, which was strange. I do need to put a little space there with some washers because that's a bit loose and makes quite a racket when the engine's running. I've also run a fuse box and a relay. I need to secure the relay and tidy the wiring here a little bit more, but that is so that the window switches, which are backlit on the ones I've fitted on this are backlit, they have been draining the battery, believe it or not. So I've put that in the relay, and the relay powers the fuse box. The fuse box now powers the radiator fan, left and right electric windows, and I've got a spare one if I want to do something crazy with the car. So yeah, I'm going to so first thing I'm going to do is obviously take all the wheels off. They need a good clean. I'm going to take the wheels off and get the shocks out the boot. We'll probably start with draining the radiator, and while the radiator's draining I'll do the shock absorbers. So I've got the new shiny radiator out. Old one has poured all out all over the floor, and I've caught some of it in the drip tray. But all of the connections are off, so we've got the two gearbox oil coolers, obviously the overflow for the expansion tank, bottom hose, top hose is all off. I've loosened that one, so it should be. I'm just going to turn these around. There's no need to undo them. And hopefully I can lift the radiator out. Come on, baby. It's not so tight. Right. Oh yeah, it's got a fan on it. I need to unplug the fan. Bear with me. Okay, that was a bit easier than I thought it was going to be. I made a mess on the floor there now. Conveniently placed rag. And this is a bit weird because the car's got blue coolant in it, so that's not blue. So you can literally see physical dimension difference. It is also, is it taller? I think it's about the same height. Okay, so it's just the width we got to be wary of. I definitely don't want to lose that. Let's put that back in. Longs. Put there. It's got a little stud in the bottom. It goes in the hole. That's what she said. So yeah, let me undo the packaging and we'll have a closer look. Oh, I've got to stop buying things that are so shiny for this car. Look at that. And no giant damp patch in the middle. So we're not out of the woods just yet, because I am hoping that I've measured the radiator hose size properly. That one there looks slightly bigger than this, but also the hose that was on it was quite tight, so might be all right with that. If not, I've got to buy I'll just put a step up and a little sleeve, so that's not going to be a problem. The other thing I need to do is hope and pray that the cooler connections are the same size, which I'm pretty certain they're going to be, but you never know. So let's do that as well. Oh, so much shininess. Now there is quite a difference in width, but like I said, I'm pretty sure. In fact, let's see. Have a quick mock-up. Oh yeah, no, that'll be fine. Take that plastic out the way and she'll be fine. So, right, let me get those connections swapped over, and obviously the radiator fan. The radiator fan's got these stupid cable tie things I really don't like that go through the fins. Annoyingly, I think we're going to have to reuse them for now. But at a later date, we'll do something a little bit less Mickey Mouse. Here we have a not damp radiator. I ended up having to go cable ties to hold the radiator fan in. And annoyingly, I also had to bend this part of the slam panel, because you couldn't get this in with the fan in place. And as stupid as it sounds, I'd rather done that than remove the whole bumper. Yeah, but good news is the hoses do fit. They were a bit stretched. I think the old one was a different, was slightly bigger, the outlets, but the hoses, I mean, this one's definitely 38mm because sensor housing is, and that's the same pipe. So yeah, so we're all back together, all on. I now need to start on the shock absorbers. Right, so let's have a look at these shock absorbers. Bottom end, nice and easy, nut and bolt. Top end, not so much. It is buried. So if I grab my light, you might be able to see. There we go. So there's the top of our shock absorber, and there's two nuts and bolts that go that way. So I can reach them from above. So hopefully they won't give me too much grief. So let's have a look at our shock absorbers. As you can tell, got them from Rock Auto. £70. £70 for a full set of shocks. And they're Monroe, they're not cheap ones. And that's including the delivery. Here they are then. So front one with new bushes and new hardware. Rear one, which has a new stud as well, which is quite nice. So they all come with nice new hardware. Oh god, my legs are killing me. I'm going to start with the rear ones because I think they might be easier, but I don't want to speak too soon. Yeah, obviously rusty nuts, first thing you want to do, wire brush and some lube. that was a good start. Snappy, snappy. Luckily managed to undo the other side. So top ones I'm not going to be able to video. So I'm just going to take them out. Right, we're off. These bolts and nuts didn't snap. They were really, really cruddy. The excuse me, the top. Oh, well, it is not really a subframe, is it? I suppose it's on the chassis. Where the shocks mount to was just full of crud. So once you clean that off, spanner goes on the nut nice and easy. I did actually use a gun in the end just to undo the bolts from underneath and work the treat. So that one is now going on, and I'll find the other one. It's obviously in the other box. All new hardware, and I'll do the other side. Right, how do we know that these shocks are bad? Old, new, obviously. So we're going to push these both all the way to the bottom, and we're going to have a race. I think the new shocks won. Well, that's one shock, two shocks. This one was definitely more awkward to get to because you got extra bits of chassis and exhaust mounting there, but they are both on. They're clearly, the old ones are clearly knackered because that still hasn't extended, and that's been compressed for the last hour. I thought this one's probably just as bad, isn't it? Yep.